What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered. Power, come on now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez. Show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave your comments, man. We are so close to 14,000 subs, man. Help us get there. I don't know what's going on with the Google algorithm right now, but I don't YouTube algorithm. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's kind of punishing me or something right now because videos that I'm putting a hell of a lot of work into are not getting a lot of viewership, which means it's not being pushed. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but help me get through this and get us to 14,000. We are 17 subs away. I mean, I've popped up some strong content, I believe, and it's not being pushed. I'm not really understanding it, but I'm not crying about it. So you know what I do? I make more content, and hopefully the next one hits hard. But let's talk about what's going on right now. We already know transfer portal is pretty much wrapped up, and the Miami Hurricanes hit gold. I mean, they hit gold, man. They hit that gold, and they are locked and loaded and ready to roll for 2026. Grabbing Darian Mensah, grabbing Cooper Barkett, and so many more weapons in this transfer portal group, including Vandravius Jenkins and also who's a wide receiver, as well as uh, what's that do? Cam Vaughn. So you got a couple of big time wide receivers there that are coming into town. You have Barkett coming into town. You got three wide receivers that are jumping on board this train, bro. And let's talk about it because this is big time stuff. This is the type of stuff that's going to make the Miami Hurricanes the most dangerous offense in the country. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight on this particular video. So you got all these weapons, right? You get all these big time dudes, these three wide receivers. You got Darian Mensah. You add it to Malachi Tony. You add it to Joshua Moore. You add it to Elijah Lofton. You add it to Mark Fletcher, Gerard Pringle, Jordan Lyle, Marty Brown. You got all these weapons all over the field. Dalen Upshaw. Like this is a team that honestly struggled at times offensively because of how they played. And I'm not mad at how they played, but at times you wondered if maybe they kept it too close to the vest because of whatever reason and didn't attack more down the field. So here we are. We now have a quarterback who has worked out in length with Cam Ward, who brings certain resemblance to Cam Ward, not just because he's a black guy. Thought that I'd throw that in there. Funny, but he is bigger than Cam Ward, taller. He's 6'3". He has a big arm. He's very um he's pretty accurate. He's athletic, strong, physical guy, can move around in the pocket, has the ability to make elongate plays, help guys get open, and put the ball where it needs to get put. And they worked out together. So you can imagine the conversations that Darian Mensah has had with Cam Ward. And it's like it's funny because you think, oh man, Cam Ward, they're close to the same age, and they might be a few years apart, but like it's not like one guy's 10 years older than the other. But you have a guy who experienced this at Miami, and he surely will have a lot of things to say to Mensa that he probably already, I mean, if he hasn't already said them as is. But you have a team now that has an offense that, again, what we would project to be the offense that we could only have wished for last season with the defense that we had. Even though our offense, I didn't complain too much about our offense. I just wish at times that we would have thrown the ball down the field more often. I wish that we would have been more aggressive down the middle of the field in those intermediate routes. That's just the way I felt about it. But you can't cry over spilled milk. Now there's no excuses for it. You have a guy with a bigger arm. Beck threw a nice ball. I never had any problems with Carson Beck, but Mensa throws a better ball. Mensa is a better athlete, a better quarterback. Gonna be probably a top pick in the draft next year if he performs the way Cam Ward did. I mean, he'll be the number one pick in the draft if he performs the way Cam Ward did. And to me, he was the number one player overall in this transfer portal, even though they have him ranked as number 10. I think it's preposterous. You include the fact that he's bringing in his boy with him, Cooper Barkett, is coming along for the ride, which I think is really important for comfort level. So now you have that security blanket feeling with your boy from Duke. You got Malachi Tony, you have these other guys that are coming in. You have weapons everywhere. And then you have a running attack. Mark Fletcher looked like the best running back in America this past month in the playoffs. And he looked like the best running back in the country. 507 yards in 4 games, facing heavy boxes, just the line pile driving people. So I do expect to see some differences this year. I don't think we're going to see the same type of running attack because we are losing big offensive linemen. We are bringing in some new ones, and I think they're going to be solid. Will they be the same level of line that we had this past season? Probably not. But I think they're going to be fine because that's what Mario Cristobal is all about. That's what Mirabal is all about, and they're going to be okay. But Shannon Dawson, brother, this is my message to you, my guy. Let it rip. Let it freaking rip. And you want to know what? Get Gerard Pringle out in that mother. Put him out in some pass patterns. Get him the ball. Put him in space. Like there's so many weapons on this field that it's going to be scary for opponents to deal with this type of thing. I just don't see. I do not see how this team is not challenging the team from 2024 offensively. Team that averaged 537 yards, led the country in yardage, led the country in points at 43.9. I just expect this team to score and score and score some more. If Mario Cristobal rolls into this season with a ground and pound mentality, and one that's going to wear the clock down and eat up time of possession and so forth, I'm gonna be pretty frustrated, and I think there'll be a lot of Hurricane fans that are really frustrated too. You have the greatness of a coach is the ability to adjust with the talent that you have on the field. And I thought they did a really good job this year when it came down to look, this is the type of team you got, type of players you got, defense that you got, and you got these guys here, and you're gonna ground and pound their ass. You're gonna smash mouth football people to death. And it worked. And it really could have worked against Indiana had Shannon Dawson not run away from the offense that we've been running the entirety of the playoffs. But man, it's on you, Dawson. You've got to call the games that allow these guys to make plays, rip away, go, and get shit done, man. It's just that simple. They're going to be elite offensively. They're going to be dangerous offensively. I think this team is going to be averaging 45 points a game. We're going to be looking at the team that we saw with Cam Ward. But the difference will be is I think the defense will be right there with them, which will make the offense even more deadly. So when I say 45, it could be 50. This team has the ability, and I don't know what the records are. And I'm going to take a look at it real quick. You got to keep in mind um, record for most points per game in the NCAA football. You got to keep in mind. Wow. So the highest average all time is 56 points per game. Army in 1944. I can't. I'm not going to pay attention to that garbage. That's trash can to me. I don't need that. That's shit because that doesn't tell me much of anything. Of 1944 Army, whatever, sir. Like that's not doing much. So I find any other lists here. Most points scored in a season is LSU in 19 with 726. That same Army team average margin of victory was 52.1. So their average score is 56-4. That's craziness. By the way, the most consecutive games without being shut out in the country is Florida. It's 473 and that's current. It's an ongoing record. Let's see if we can find anything else here because I think this could be a team that sets some modern day records. Then call it a modern day record because 56 in 1944 is not a modern day thing to me by any means at all. The top scoring teams. Oh God, look at that. Okay, so the top scoring teams, of note in recent times. 2013 Baylor, 52.4 points per game. Florida State in 2013, 51.6 points per game. Oklahoma, 08, 51.1. Texas, 05, 50.2. Oregon, 12, 49.6. Houston in 11, 49.3. USC in 05, 49.1. Keep in mind, games were longer then. The rules were different, and that's why scoring is different now because you had teams that used to put up truckloads of points, and they're not doing it as well because the reality is that they're not, there's less time. There's not less time in terms of there's less time. There's less time because they changed the rules on stopping the clock in terms of The sticks not having to be measured and moved. They're starting the clock a lot more quickly after every play. They don't have you're not when you out of bounds, the clock doesn't stop anymore. So in terms of stop until you snap it. So they've changed a lot of rules to expedite games and make them run faster. But this team has a chance to be record setting, at least for the University of Miami. The 2024 team was I believe the highest scoring Miami team ever, and they have the opportunity to be that type of team. They absolutely do. You know, they can put up big time numbers. I have no doubt about that. So I'm interested to see what they look like offensively, and I'm interested to see what Shannon Dawson does with this team offensively because I think he's got a toy to play with, bro. And if he doesn't play with it the right way, he could screw it up. And I don't want to see him screw it up. I want him to relax, take a chill, take a Xanax, and get out there and let it rip. Because this is the type of team that you can let it rip with. This is Cam Ward 2.0 type shit. It just is. And Darian Mensah has the opportunity and the ability to be the second number one overall draft pick for the Miami Hurricanes in the last 3 seasons if he performs the way I expect him to perform. If he's allowed to do what I expect him to be allowed to do for this team with these types of weapons, it's pretty freaking dangerous. The only thing that can stop this offense is themselves. Nobody else. This will not be an offense that someone can stop. You just have to hope to contain them. And it's going to be hard to contain these dudes. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Like I said, I think this is a record-breaking type of team. They're going to be serious on offense. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.